Welcome to Wellness Interviews, where I interview successful people who share their strategies and their ideas around wellness so that it can help you. And I am your host. I'm Kristine Best. And today my guest is Sean Hewitt from the UK. And I will get him to introduce himself. Welcome to my show, Sean.
Thank you for having me, Kristine. It's lovely to be here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'd love you to introduce yourself to our
By all
listeners.
means, by all means, thank you. I'm Sean Hewitt from the Trusted Business Community Association. We're a small business association supporting the small businesses around the world that really just need that little bit of an uplift. Through it could well be through networking, it could well be through getting themselves seen as the go-to business in their industry sector. And we help them in multiple ways by connecting people up, making sure that they're getting in front of their right ideal audience, whether that be collaborative partners or their client base that they're looking to reach out to. And we do that in a very holistic human way by making sure that introductions come from one individual to another, and third party recommendations are always the best way to obviously start a conversation flowing.
Yep. And did you say you've got 86 hours of networking?
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome, isn't it?
it's an amazing thing, and we spearheaded around about 3 months ago. I was fortunate enough through one of our members of the association, a lady called Carolyn Hobbs, introduced me to Ian Kingwell from the Synergy Group. And we had a great one-to-one, and we started to get to know each other. We had a further follow-up one-to-one, as everyone should. It's not just about having one opportunity to talk to each other multiple times, and that's exactly what Ian and I did. I told him about what we were doing. He told me about what he was doing, and I said, "Why don't we do this together?" And so the first birth of this 80 plus hours, we were able to start there with an understanding between the two organisations that we would, if we collaborated, we could actually bring more people connecting together just by having us able to access their meetings, and all their members being able to access ours wherever possible, of course. Obviously, Synergy is based in Australia and North America, and we're here in the UK in the middle of it. So time frames are quite important. So it doesn't fit every meeting doesn't necessarily fit
No.
everyone's timing, but it gives people the opportunity to be able to reach out. So networking was formed. We then introduced, off the back of that, I got introduced to Faye Waterman, who runs the virtual coffee and cocktail lounge. I then went out on a mission myself to bring in Summer from Connections and Fab Collabs, as well as Elaine Godley from the Perfect Health Hub. And with that, I was working already with a lady called Aleri from Silvertree, who have a networking arm to their offering as well. But we brought everybody together. Now 80 plus hours of networking is available at any given time on a regular month
Yeah,
throughout the
that's,
year ahead.
that's fantastic. So, a lot of people think that their business shouldn't mix with another business. But you know what? You've just proven that a lot of different networking groups can come together and work collaboratively. Yeah,
It's
it's
so
like
important.
a lot of businesses can do that.
I remember attempting this some years ago, and the biggest problem I had was a reluctance from
Mm,
others,
mm.
because they weren't sure, I suppose, whether or not they uh, they were trying to be overprotective of their membership, and it was, we were always saying, no, we will work together as one. And a lot of people sort of turned away from it because I think they were worried more than anything that
That you're going to
it
steal
could
their clients
it could steal their networking
or their
membership.
network.
And
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and it was never intended to do that. The
No.
whole lots of this is to create the coming together that will then set us all apart, which is one of
Mm.
my favourite strap lines that you can see above my head here.
Yep.
But it is truly a holistic human approach that brings the networking memberships of all the groups together under one umbrella and gives a huge amount of support. And we're now fortunate to find leaders like Ian and Sid and Nick and all the others that I've mentioned already, who understand the power of what that can bring for their own membership. And so it began, what, 12, 13 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
in the last 3 months, we've built it to what it is today. And we're looking by the new year to have over 100 hours of availability, as we have a number of other networking groups looking to join us now that we've established ourselves
Yeah. Yeah.
with the collaborative force that we've now got behind us.
So
Other networking groups are now showing interest.
see, you're setting the standard, and people are noticing, and they now want to jump on board. And I think it's really fantastic. I know the organisations you've mentioned because I've attended those networking groups, and I've attended a couple of yours now,
Yes.
and they're very well run, all of them. And
Mm.
it's very appropriate that they band together because they do fit really well because of the ethos, no selling in the group. It's just saying what you do and how you help people, how you solve their problems. And, it puts us in touch with a whole lot of people that we wouldn't ordinarily be able to access. So it
Yeah.
makes good sense to collaborate the way I see it.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's a
Yeah.
win-win-win the way I see it. Your organisation wins, the other organisation wins, and all the members win.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And so, anyway, I want to now ask you a few things about, wellness in your life.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
uh, do you want to talk about your early days and what your ideas about wellness was then?
Yeah, by all means. I mean, looking back, going back to sort of a younger version of me, if I can remember that far back, but going back to a younger version of me, I've always been somebody who's enjoyed sport. I've always had sport as an outlet for me outside of the everyday.
Mm.
So, always been interested in activities around the sporting arena. Football, I still play football today. Um, and it's not walking football, by the way. It is all age. I'm not. I'm well, sort of running around on the football field, just a little bit slower than I used to be. But yeah, table tennis, rugby, cricket. I've always been active in the sporting arena, and the in those early stages, I talking about health and well-being. When even as a young child, as a young boy, getting into all these different activities, I always found that I really struggled with my breathing at the beginning of every activity.
Okay.
And I could never work it out. And it was like people used to say to me, "Oh, you get like a second wind, and all of a sudden you're all okay." I felt like I was a bit asthmatic, and I wasn't, but I felt like it was, really having to breathe heavily just to get some oxygen in my lungs. First
Mm.
20 minutes of the football match, that was exactly what I was like. And anything heavily where there was a lot of activity. And I went through life up until my mid 40s, thinking it was just the makeup of me, and that was how it was. And it was just the makeup of me. But what I found was after a slight health scare, where I hit the floor having had a heart attack, they put a camera inside me to see what was the cause of the failure, the heart failure, and it turned out that my heart is built back to front, and it's also got an extra ventricle on the lower ventricle that goes across, which shouldn't be there, and that's where it actually uh, broke. That extra ventricle that comes off of the other one was a slight weakness there, and it ruptured, and that's what caused me to fall ill. Um,
And that
I
accounts for your breathing difficulties, right, Sean?
100%. And they turned around and said to me, did you ever struggle with when you first do activity with your breathing? And I said, yeah. They went, well, this would be an attribute to that problem that
Yep.
you were having. And it started to all make sense. It all started to unravel and make
Mm.
sense. It was me thinking I was just a bit, because as a young boy, I had pneumonia twice, and I thought
Oh,
it was just
okay.
part of pneumonia, and it wasn't.
Right.
It was nothing to do with that at all. It was purely down to the fact the heart's around the wrong way. And
Yeah.
my work now, when I go play football nowadays, I have to spend 20 minutes on my own, just slowly building up the momentum to get my breathing regulated, ready for when I go onto the field.
Right. So, how unique are you? I mean, there aren't many people in the world who have a back to front heart. You've
No,
got to,
0.5% of the human race are born with the heart like mine.
how many percent?
0.5,
0.5%.
0.5%.
Wow.
However,
Mm,
I ended up in Papworth Hospital, which is a famous hospital here in the UK for heart and lung. And I ended up there. And they said that I was 0.5% of the human race. However, the extra ventricle on the bottom of my heart, it makes me completely unique in their opinion because they've never ever seen anything like it before in their careers. And the Papworth Hospital, albeit a predominantly a heart and lung hospital,
mm.
Prince Philip went there when he had his illnesses, bless him. Um, so it's a very well renowned. They've never ever seen anything. So they actually used to call me when I used to go back in there for checkups. They used to say to me, "Oh, here comes the special one." Because they'd never seen it before.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that
No, me
myself.
neither.
No.
Me neither.
So that's very, very unusual. And does that extra ventricle actually function and do something?
Well, I suppose it does, but it's not supposed to be there. Um, it comes off of the lower ventricle, so it's a joint, and it drops off and go. So I suppose it does have its part to play, but I would imagine if it wasn't there, it wouldn't really matter because I've still got the other ventricles in place
Mm,
anyway. So this
mm.
one's just an added one.
That,
But
I want to
yeah,
interview you again. I think you've got to go back to your doctors and say, I need to know the answer to
I
this
need to know
question.
For Kristine, because Kristine needs to
And
know.
now
Tell
our
yeah,
listeners, right?
yeah,
Got to got to
absolutely.
got to satisfy their curiosity and mine. So, what's wellness like for you now?
Wellness has always played an important part. I'm not ideal. I can tell you that now. I'm a human being. I'm not, I look after myself to the best of my ability. I'm 58 years of age, and I'm lucky enough to have a pretty reasonable, healthy lifestyle in the sense that I eat well. I make sure that my wife is a superb cook. We always eat fresh. We very rarely we do the takeout thing, but occasionally there's nothing wrong as long as, like always, everyone says everything in moderation. Occasionally
Yes.
we'll treat ourselves, but
Yep.
it's we're very I'm very fortunate to be to have a healthy outlook on what goes in my body because what we eat is what we are, and I've
That's
always had
correct.
that. I had that viewpoint. So fueling the
Mm.
body is really important with everything that is good and nutritional for you. Yes, okay, with other things in life that you've got plenty of other things that you might want to treat yourself from time to time with. But I do my level best to make sure that I keep a very firm lid on the over exuberance of things that can make me unwell.
Well, that's pretty sensible, really. I mean, if you enjoy some things that are not especially good for you, but you like them, you enjoy them, and you only have
Yeah,
them occasionally, your body will handle that.
yeah,
But it just satisfies you. And a lot of people who like things like chocolate or whatever, if they cut it out of their diet totally, one day it just gets the better of them and then they overindulge in it. And so that creates other problems. So, there's nothing wrong with in moderation, in my
no,
opinion.
absolutely. I think it's important. It's important to keep almost like a watchful eye on yourself.
Hmm.
And I listen to my body so much more since having the heart failure and having the heart attack. I listen to my body so much more
Hmm.
now. And if I'm fit, even now I can sometimes feel, if I've overdone work and things like that, my body sort of starts to say, oh, I'm feeling a bit tired here. I will listen and I will come away from the computer and I'll quite happily go and have a lie down for an hour or so just to get myself back on track again. So rather than push through it, which is my natural thing to do, because I'm have a tendency to be drive, 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 drive. Even after the heart failure, I was told not to do anything for 6 weeks. But that didn't go down too well because I decided I was going to push myself all the way down to the town, which was a mile and a half away. And I managed to get there, but I had to get a cab back because I couldn't get any further. But I'll always push myself. But I do now listen
Yep.
more intently to what my body's telling me.
You're probably a little bit like me and a lot of other people who are kind of high achievers because they just want to achieve stuff, be productive, do the best they can do. And so, yeah, you do tend to push yourself. But a lot of people don't listen to their body. It's a good thing
Mm,
that you do because that will prevent you burning out and getting sick.
yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
where a lot
And
of
of
people
course,
go wrong.
with the heart issue that I do have, it makes me a little bit more because of I've already had an issue with it, um, which meant I was in hospital for 3, 4 weeks.
Mm.
Um, the fact that that's already happened, just that's almost like a little reminder. It's like a little voice in my head going, "Take it easy, Sean. Slow down. Go and take a break because
You don't want
you're
to
never
go
going to
there
get.
again, right?
We don't want to go back there again. No, no, definitely not. That's for sure.
So when you play sport now, you said you spend quite a bit of time warming up, but do you do some other training as well in between the games that you play?
The thing I do more than anything, I don't. I didn't play football for. I played football about 3 weeks ago for the first time in 18 months, and it's the football club that we belong to. It's a group of guys, all age, and we're not in a league, but we go and play teams. We arrange matches, so we may have 2 matches a month or 1 match a month. It could go a month before we get the next month match. So fitness in the scheme of things where people say, right, let's meet up for training and things like that and keep ourselves. That doesn't happen because it's more of a group of guys coming together to play a game of football. Um, but what I do tend to do is I tend to use my car stays very much on the driveway of my house, and I walk wherever I can. I'll walk to somewhere if I can know if I'm going up the road or going for a walk. I'll gladly walk. And I look to make sure that I'm doing as many steps as possible. I've got my step tracker and things like that, so I keep an eye on how many steps I'm doing and what I'm burning in the way of calories and things like that. So
Oh, that's good.
and I live at the very bottom of a very steep hill. So
Mm,
on the way up is certainly a lot more sort of power and working on my health than on the
mm.
way down because I'm almost putting the brakes on the way down. But go up and down my hill a few times a day, and you do feel like you've had a workout. You really do. So it's extreme, and we're
Well,
right at the
that's
bottom.
good. So you're physically active pretty much most days by the sounds of it, and that's a good thing. You don't want to be an athlete, but you just want to enjoy a game every now and then. And working on hills or walking on
Yeah,
up and down hills, that's pretty good training. Even on the
yeah,
way
absolutely.
down,
I don't get much. I don't get much training from the 8 ball pool I play. So
right?
I play in a pool team, and the only training I'm getting is walking around the table to pop balls. So I don't really get much walking in them. Although saying that, there probably is quite a few steps involved, but it's not something that's more for enjoyment as well. But I've
Mm,
always enjoyed all types of sport, but it has that benefit double sort of edged sword because it's a double benefit because one I'm participating in group activity, which I've always loved, and on top of that, I'm getting some fitness in doing it as well. So it's a win-win.
well, you're using more calories walking around a pool table than you would if you were sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
And and as you said, the aspect of socializing is a very important aspect of your mental health. I mean, if you're just stuck at
Mm-hmm.
home watching TV, you're going to be very lonely. It's going to make you feel unhappy, sad,
Mm-hmm.
and you're avoiding going down that path by being out and about. with your friends. And
Yeah.
you've got a couple of different networks that you have friends in. So it
Yes.
opens up a lot more social activity than a lot of people would be
Yeah.
involved in.
I must admit, my family have always called me the social butterfly,
Okay.
and because I am quite active in, I suppose the role I play in work, yeah, I suppose has an effect on me as an individual in the social side of it, because it's a very social
Mm.
uh, position I hold in the working environment.
So
So
that
it's
you mean now, the work
yeah,
environment you've got now
yeah,
with the networking group.
yeah, very
Yeah.
much so. So
But you
that
weren't
group.
always doing that, I don't suppose.
No, I was. In the past, I've worked in retail. I've worked in property. Worked in finance.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, I've always been working with others. Retail sales, property sales, financial sales.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So you've always been a people
always been
person.
people out there meeting people. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yep.
My wife will tell you I'll never meet a stranger. So so purely because we walk down the street and it's like, oh, sure. And she'll sit there
Yeah.
and go, you know everyone in this town. And it's like, yeah, I
But
suppose
you're
I
easy
do.
to talk to and you're friendly, and even somebody that you've never met before would suddenly be talking to you because you've just got that manner about you where they're engaged in the
I think it's
conversation.
inclusion. If you see somebody
Yeah.
sat there, if you go to the local pub or something like that, there's somebody sat there on their own, I'll always say hi. Just even if I don't know them, hi, how you doing? And it might open up a conversation, and then their experience has then hopefully sort of increased about by being there rather than sat there having a pint themselves, just sitting there by themselves. They may need that,
They
but if you say
may.
hi to somebody, they interact. All of a sudden, conversations may start, and if they don't,
Yep.
they obviously just want to be there on their own, and that's fine, absolutely
Yep.
fine. But at least I've broke the silence as such, and I would try and include
Yeah.
them to say hello and start engaging with them.
Sometimes that
Um,
can be the icebreaker that somebody needs to
hmm,
be included in a group. They might have moved to the area and are new there, or
first time,
you never know what their story might be. And I think that's a really good thing because not everybody does that.
no, just I say I've always been somebody easy to talk to, and I find it easy to not necessarily make friends, but I find it very easy to start a conversation with somebody. So, and
Hmm.
if people engage, that's great. If they don't, that's equally great because obviously, like you said, no one really knows their story, where they are in that moment.
Mm.
It could be that they're not in a great place in that moment, and that's why they're sat there on their own, just reflecting on what's going on in their
Mm.
lives. It could be that they're just like you say, just moved to the area. So whatever it may be, just a quick hello can open up the door to further conversations if they want it.
That's right. And that has a big effect on people's wellness, that they are included, that they feel like they belong to a group and that someone's accepting them for who they are
Yeah,
and caring enough about them to speak, because a lot of people feel isolated and they might not be good conversationalists like you are. And so they're not as game to speak out. And so by you approaching them first, that is the icebreaker and it draws them in. So I think you're in
yeah,
a perfect job in the networking industry, Sean. Yeah.
no, absolutely. I mean, as I say, it reflects, I suppose, like you quite rightly say, it reflects on the fact that within the memberships of anybody's networking group that sits behind my head here, there's that ability to be able to cross over and speak to others. And, we do our level best as leaders of the groups that we're here, so that's everybody included, to encourage people to go and meet new opportunities, go and meet new potential collaborative partners, and just go and build their network of connections. I think what we've done here is a reflection of how the ethos, like you quite rightly said earlier, of all the leaders in the who run their individual groups have got
Mm.
going on together, because that ethos is about cross-pollinating and allowing freedom of movement across all the networking arenas that we've got. So
Mm.
it's really important, and I think it helps with mental health.
Oh,
It's
for sure,
it's
it does.
it's so lonely for a lot of businesses out there, especially since we had COVID.
Hmm.
Everything's gone online. People are glued to their screens a lot of the time, and it can be, even if you're in a relationship. I work in my office here now. My house is part of that, but I'm working in a segregated office. But so I go out my door into the house. Um, but when I'm here, I'm on my own.
Hmm.
Unless like today, I've got my dog next to me who's decided to come and join me. But it's so you can be working in isolation for many hours throughout the
Yep.
working day. We all know how running your own business is, takes time, it takes effort, it takes hours of dedicated dedication in getting the business going and then maintaining it there. So it can be quite isolating. So having the opportunity to have good people around you that you could reach out, have conversations with, whether that be on a Zoom meeting or WhatsApp or meeting somebody up the road in your area that you live. All
Mm.
of these things are really important for mental health because it creates that that opportunity to not be isolated in here. And that's the
Yep.
thing, the isolation in the head. But it's
Yep.
driven by, I suppose, today's technologies that we have at our fingertips, allowing
And
us
because,
to just do what we do when we do
yeah,
it. But we
yeah,
need that escape as well.
yeah. And because the groups that you're aligned with now, the I suppose the environment is very conducive to learning about each other and developing those relationships and not keeping people at a superficial level. We're actually learning a more in-depth human being lies underneath this person who's in this role in their business. That's more becomes more than that. We learn a lot about their life,
Yeah,
outside of work. And that's a really good thing because um, it becomes a more uh, caring kind of relationship where if you were struggling with something, you said, "Oh, because do you know anybody who can help me with such and such?" That they'd be only too happy to help you or find someone to help you, right? It's that kind
yeah,
of community.
yeah,
So,
very much so.
yeah, being involved in that kind of community can be very beneficial to business owners because we're going through a very difficult time in business. And I think a lot of business people, entrepreneurs, are all struggling at the moment um, because, the prices of everything have gone up and a lot of people have backed off buying things because they're tightening the belt and petrol, food, you name it, everything's going up and eating away at what used to be a good income and is now starting to dwindle a little. And that puts a lot more pressure on people. Would you agree with that?
I do. I mean, one of the reasons why we've not put our prices up in over 2 years is because we've seen how hard it has been for a lot of the small business world out there, and this disposable income has shrunk, like
Mm.
you quite rightly say, because cost of living crisis has pushed things up. So the available spend on for individuals has shrunk, and in
Mm.
some cases, I've seen phenomenal professionals who've really got a great product, great offering, great service, go
Hmm.
back to work. They've actually jumped back out and gone back into the paid arena for going and being employed because they've found it so difficult to balance, if you like, that cost against what. So what we did was we made sure that we didn't put prices up. We said, right, okay, so the cost of living is pushing people up. So if we push our prices up, that's just going to put more pressure on the businesses that want to be part of what we're doing. So we kept them the same. And for the last 2 years, we've maintained our prices and to help anybody at any level, at any price point, we've got an in for them if they want to be part of something that we're doing. So we've made it so that no matter whether it's a startup business to an extremely well-established business, earning lots of money, to all the way down to somebody who's really just getting started or finding it a bit more tough. There's a price point for them to be involved with us at any point. And that way, that creates inclusion
Yeah.
rather than exclusion, because we
Yeah.
want people to be involved, because the more involvement we can, the more introductions we can make for them to be able to thrive. And I mean, the thing was, we've just come into the end of 25, and at the start of 25, I was talking about thrive in 25, but now things have changed yet again. My thing going into 26 is we want to create the big fix for 26 for small businesses rather than just thrive in 25. We're now looking to create the big fix in 26, and creating businesses, bringing communities together is just one way of doing that.
Yeah.
Because it opens up so much more connectivity and opportunity for everybody.
Well, that's got to be beneficial to the health of all of your members.
Yeah. I remember we're coming up 5 years to one of our networking meetings, and that's the Friday Coffee Drop-In, which you've been on. You've been on that Friday Coffee Drop-In, and a very unearthly hour in the morning for you. And thank you for being
the coffee morning one isn't too bad. It was the other one that was 5 a.m. start.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a start and finish for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But what we've got is when that was born out of COVID. That was born out of the Christmas lockdown. So here in the UK, we were told we could open up, but we had to be careful because of we didn't want COVID spiking, and of course I opened everything up again. Not everything, but the majority of businesses that you could even go out and mingle, and as long as you kept your distance, it was okay. And then of course it spiked again, and then they shut everything down again. And I can remember going over to my sister after they said, right, we're going to close. I'm sorry, we're going to have to shut it all down. You can't spend Christmas together with your families. You're going to have to stop. We're going to have to put a lid on this again. I went and dropped off some presents to my sister, and I also dropped off some presents to my stepfather. And I met my stepfather first, met him in a car park halfway between where he lives and where I live, drove down to see my sister. And my sister was petrified. Absolutely petrified of COVID. And she spoke to me on the telephone. She said, right, when you get here, ring the bell, and if you could just leave the presents on the doorstep and step back, I'll take them in, then we can have a conversation at distance. And then I'll bring my presents to the door, shut the door, you can put them in the ring, ring the bell, step back. It was like a Mission Impossible thing going on, right? Just trying to exchange Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And I came away from there. Now, we've always been brought up through family, and we've always been brought up as to very loving, caring, family that is hugs, and they're the sort of natural thing for us. We've always been we was always like that. So not being able to hug my sister on a few days before Christmas and wish her Merry Christmas and Happy New Year with a hug really destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. And I drove off down her street, turned the corner, started going down the hill where she lives at the top of the hill, in another part of Essex where I'm based. And I had to pull over. Couldn't see. My eyes were filling up. I was in tears. And I literally got back in, got myself together, drove home, and all the way home, I'm going. Now I do wear my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, I do. I'm not saying I don't, but I'm quite a jovial guy, which will, I've got lots of positive energy to give out, and I like to look at the positive, the cup half full than the cup half empty. That's my mindset. And even I was struggling then, because I couldn't give my sister a hug. And I got back. By the time I got driven 25 minutes home, I'd hatched a plan, because I was like, if I'm going through this, who else is going through this? And I'm quite jovial, I'm quite chirpy, but I was destroyed. I got in, and by the time I got home, I'd hatched a plan. And that coffee drop-in started the week leading up to Christmas. We met for 2 hours every morning, just for coffee, chit chat, and get to people together, because we knew that everything was going to be shut down again, and everyone was going to be in isolation, literally. So we did. We did it for the first one. Everyone said that was great. Can we do it between Christmas and New Year? So I said, yeah, why not? So we did. We
Hmm.
got to the end of there, and there was about 70 people on the call by the end of the second week, and everyone was going, can we do it next year? Can we do it throughout the year? And I was at that point, I went, right, okay, if we do it every day, this is going to run out of steam very, very quickly. But why not meet up at the end of every Friday, at the end of every working week for a lot of people, and we'll do a coffee drop in on a Friday. We'll call it the Friday coffee drop in. And I said, in that way, we can talk about the week that was, we can talk about what we're planning for the weekend ahead, and we can talk about our plans for the week ahead of that, the weekend. And
Nice. Yeah.
that gives us everybody an opportunity to interact and help each other, because there might be some things that you're planning that you might need help from somebody else to get off the ground. I said, and we can use that as a, that sort of gift of coming together, creating that community just through that group.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. So this Christmas, we're celebrating our 5th year running
Wow.
that meet. And we've had
Fantastic.
thousands of businesses coming through the door. And it all started through mental health.
Yeah, I was going to say, there'd be so many people in isolation that would be champing at the bit to get on your networking group. Well, it wasn't networking as such then.
Yeah,
It was more a get together and chat about what you want to do, what you like to do, what was work like, and yeah,
no.
all that kind of stuff. I think that's fantastic. It's interesting for me to hear how it actually came about because I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's just the Friday drop in, and that's what's really started our online venture, because
Okay.
it was the thing that really, because we used to do networking face to face,
Yep.
so then of course that was taken away from us due to COVID, so we went online, and the rest is history. And now we've got such a wide audience of memberships across the world,
Mm.
it's impossible to do face to face, but I can bring everybody together on my computer screen
Yep.
throughout, with all the help and support of all the other networking groups. We can all bring everyone together in one screen, and the world has become the size of our computer screen now, which is amazing.
Yeah, there are a lot of good points about the technology, but there are a few bad points because it's making everybody more sedentary, right?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why what you're doing, keeping physically active, is very important. So you're walking instead of taking the car, and when
Mm.
you can, and a lot of people need to do that because they don't. I know they
It's
don't.
too easy. It's too easy to jump in the car, isn't it? That's the thing. It's so convenient. I'll just
Yeah,
jump in the car, go around the
and it
corner.
and it does save time, but if
Yeah.
you work it out right, you can fit it in.
Well, if you've got a health regime and you're jumping in the car, that's fine. But then you're putting some of your health into just walking rather than. So what time you gain by jumping in the car, you're still having to fit some other fitness in
Well,
if
that's
that's what
exactly
you do.
that's
So
exactly
it's
right.
just best of both worlds. It's sort of like get a bit of fitness in by not by leaving the car on the driveway.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, very good. And so, is there anything else that you do that's bigger than you?
That's bigger than me. In
Yeah.
what way do you mean? Sorry, tell me what way do you
I'm
mean?
just thinking, are there any charity things that you do, charitable works, the
Oh yeah, I mean yes, we've supported a number of different charities over the years. I mean, the association, not in its branded state, but I've been running this for 24 years,
right.
nearly 25. It's
Mm-hmm.
been branded for the best part of the last 13, 14 years as the Trusted Business Community Association. Um, and in that time, yeah, we've supported many a charity. Brain Cancer Charities in Sue's name, which is a London-based charity that is looking for obvious ways to either slow the process of somebody with cancer, brain cancer down, or find a cure, which would be the most wonderful thing. But there's just so many different brain cancers that are out there that it's difficult to obviously just one cure may not, if it is found, it may not be the cure for something else. Um, but I've actually had the privilege of actually going to where they do all the research as well with that charity in
Mm.
Whitechapel in London, and a gentleman by the name of David Taylor, his daughter Sue, which is why it's called in Sue's name. She sadly passed away after a very, very short battle of it, aged 42. My father died at the same age of it, aged 42.
Oh,
My first wife died of it more recently, certainly about 15, 16 years ago. She passed away from it. And it's the biggest killer in young, it's the biggest killer in as a cancer in young adults. So people are
Mm,
before they're 50, more
mm.
people are likely, if you get that, it's killing more people. So it's a huge health risk, obviously, for a lot of people. And the thing is, it only gets 2% of government funding, which is amazing. That's all it gets, and yet it's the biggest killer.
That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, crazy. So we've helped there, and currently we're doing a something along with a gentleman who I think you know, but maybe people out there who are listening into this won't. The gentleman's named Ben Mukasa, and he runs the Davian Cares Foundation out in Uganda, and just an amazing gentleman that I interviewed on my own YouTube channel because his story is just amazing. It's just a wonderful story. He was once an orphan on the streets of
Yeah.
Uganda. A gentleman by the name of Davian came along, took him off the street, gave him health care access, took him through school and university, put a roof over his head and fed him. Um, and instead of going back, having sort of like got all his qualifications, he could have done whatever he wanted to do in Uganda, but he decided to walk back to the streets and help the kids that he once was have a future themselves. And this guy is
Yeah.
just an amazing gentleman. We've raised recently on Friday, this Friday evening, with the help of Silver Tree and Love Entrepreneurs and myself, along with others coming into it as well, and lots of help from lots of people who were a part of bringing this online meeting together, which was a fundraiser, and it was so much fun. It really was. There was music, there was games. The children in Uganda were on there singing and dancing for us. It was just an amazing experience. And we raised just under £3,500 in cash and about 1,250 quid's worth of silver currency to be able to obviously help with their future and give those kids a brighter and better future, something to look forward to, something to strive towards. And you don't, I think, in the Western world, we take a lot of things, they're at our disposal, with not too much of an issue. But, when you've got these young kids that are living literally in poverty, and then somebody like Ben, the hero that he is, comes along and gives them a chance to have a better future with
He's
his
got
team.
42 kids or something, hasn't he? 42?
62,
60. Oh,
62
sorry, 62.
kids that he
Yeah.
looks after. And it's amazing. It's just lovely to see, that we can all get together collectively and do something for the good of others. So that's something that's really dear to me, and it's certainly bigger than me. That's way bigger than me, I can assure you.
Yeah, but you're
But
making it
that
happen for him, aren't you? You
contribution is
organise
up.
tickets to attend the
Yeah,
concert and all of that. So you're giving them the platform to tell people and share his story. And so, yeah, that is a bigger than you project. And
yeah.
how does
It's
that
lovely to.
actually make you feel? Do you think that it contributes to your wellness?
Oh yeah, definitely. Do you know what? There's nothing more special than seeing others um, really grow themselves through something that we could all do for somebody else, and something like that really makes me feel humbled. Not just because I've been part of it, but because others have been part of it as well. And you know, if we don't, if we all get together and do it as one, it can be brilliant. One person can't make a difference. Wait,
Mm,
Ben's made a bit of a difference to 62 kids out there, but to make it what his dream is to help children across the whole of Uganda get themselves off the streets. Those orphans that are out there living rough, living day to day begging, and
mm,
it just doesn't bear thinking about. But if we
no.
can all come together and do something really special to build Ben's dream to help more children in Uganda,
Mm,
then we've all contributed, and that makes me feel extremely thankful personally that I'm living in an area where I'm not experiencing what these children are having to experience. But it also makes me feel very humble that we can come together do something so special for those children. And I think that well-being, that warmth of giving, seeing what it's doing, and that's got to be good. It makes me, it gives me a very warm feeling inside to know that even though the part I've played may only be a smidgen, collectively we've been able to do something really great. And if that can help just one child, it's obviously going to help a lot more. But if it can help one child, we're on the right track to helping others.
Yep, for sure. Well, that's been an amazing interview. I've loved every minute of it.
Thank you.
And
Thank
it,
you for inviting me.
you're quite welcome. What I want to know is there anything that you would like to leave with our viewers? Any special thing that you would like to say from your heart
Um,
to them?
yeah, yeah. I mean, no, without saying anything, selling anything, or anything like that, I would just say to people, if they're if you're ever feeling a bit isolated, because it can happen, and especially as a business owner, if you are feeling isolated, don't think that you're on your own. Look around the people that are around you, and if there isn't anybody around you that you can identify with, then come and speak to me, and I will introduce you to a lot of people that can then maybe help you get out of that isolated moment. Because health is really important, and without your health, you have nothing. So mental health, physical health, stay on board, stay on point, and always listen to your body. But if you are finding it difficult, reach out to somebody. Don't you don't It's okay not to be okay. So reach out to somebody who you can trust, whether it be somebody in your inner circle or there's plenty of other people out there. There's amazing people in this group that head these groups up, and we'd be happy to obviously help you get through that moment if you're ever needing to get past a struggling moment of isolation.
That's fantastic. That's a really good one to leave everyone on. So thank you very, very much for being on my show. I've enjoyed it immensely. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sean.
Kristine. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. And I hope our viewers have learnt something from this interview. And yeah, if you want to join a group, certainly join Sean's group. And if you're in Australia, he'll put you onto an Australian group. If you're in America, he'll put you onto an American group. If you're in the UK, he's also got a group that he runs. So don't be alone, as he says. There's plenty of support, and he'll help you find it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kristine.